called them baby killers. They abused them. And I started a reactionary organisation to that. Called it the United People of Luton, which then come into the English Defence League. Now, from the offset, I noticed the tactics by the police, the arrests, the harassment, just non-stop. If I would be here all day if I brought you through each thing, but I'll bring you through the prison sentences, how they got me in prison. So first of all, I was due to go to Scotland. I went to Luton Airport. I was held by Special Branch. Special Branch is for serious crime. They arrested me, they took me to the police station. Then they told me that they're raiding properties linked to me. They went to my mum and dad's house, ransacked the house. They went to my house with my children in with machine guns. And they went to, this was the start of the message. You know, I think they've tried to teach you a message this weekend. This was my first message, which the message was shut up. Now, the day they arrested me, this is when it gets really dirty, is when they arrested me, they gave me bail conditions. So they arrested me on a criminal damage charge. They said that when I stayed in a hotel in the city of Sheffield, there was £30 worth of damage done to a door that connects the hotel room door in the corridor. And I fitted the description of the person that done it. And I'm like, that's really why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here for a £30 criminal damage on a hotel door. You've raided my house and my mother's house. And all of this come out. And when it comes to bailing me, they give me bail conditions for 3 weeks. And when they bailed me, the bail conditions were to not contact the English Defence League, not send emails. Okay? My bail date was perfect. I was due to be speaking in the very early days of the English Defence League. You may have heard of the grooming scandal yes. Where the Muslim men have been gang raping young English children. Well, at this time, no one was talking about it, and it was still a secret. And the police had managed to conspire to keep it silent and hidden for 30 years. Then comes along our organisation, where we're screaming it on the streets. We're holding banners and placards saying you're raping our kids. We're giving speeches. So I was due to speak in Yorkshire, where Rotherham is, in the same area. And I was due to give a speech on this exact thing. So when they arrested me, my bail conditions were not to enter that town, and the date I had to answer bail was at the exact time of the demonstration I had planned. This was all politically motivated. This whole fabricated case, I actually put in, through the IPC, which is the Independent Police Complaints Commission, I put in a complaint asking how they got warrants, how they got this. And it took me 2 years to get the results, but the results of this actually come out, that they accepted. They accepted everything. They accepted that it was politically motivated. They accepted that they sent police officers on training courses. They accepted they should never have raided my house or my home, but that didn't matter. Okay, because the reason to do it was to prevent me talking about grooming, to prevent me exposing what's happening. So that was the start of a continued campaign. 3 months later, I'm in the same property, the door comes in again. 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, what now? And when I said to the police officer, okay, you're doing your job, and he said, I'm sorry, Stephen. I said, what do you mean you're sorry? Just do your job. He said, we're here to arrest your wife. I said, you're going to arrest my wife? Exactly what they've just done now. What I believe they've done to you this weekend was to teach your partner, Martin, a lesson and to intimidate him. And they arrested my wife, who was 6 months pregnant. I said, you're taking my wife, she's 6 months pregnant. What are you taking us on? And they arrested me and her on tax irregularities. You're America's IRS. Yep. We're arresting you on tax irregularities, which this wasn't the tax man, this was the police. They then arrested me at that point, and they arrested my wife, and then they bailed us on charges of money laundering and tax evasion. We were bailed and we had to answer bail every 6 weeks for 3 years. So we had to keep going back and answering bail. My wife had to sit an 8-hour interview 4 times. Yeah? She come out each time like a broken woman. Now, all of this was the start of a case against me where they charged me with mortgage fraud in the end. They went through, basically, what they'd done is they went through every single member of my family, and they went back 10 years. And they got court summonses behind our backs without us knowing to get all the bank accounts and all the statements and everything to do with businesses and money and finance. And they just dissected and went through every member of my family. They done my mum and dad's. They were trying to arrest my mum and dad. They done my mum and dad, my wife, me, and all of this was to get me in a position in the end, which is what worked. Because in the end, I stood trial for this offence, I stood trial for tax evasion. And I got a not guilty within 30 minutes, literally straight away. Because I'd given no comment interview the whole way through. And when we got into court and I produced everything and explained everything, I was walked out of court. So then, but I knew this was never about They arrested my wife, arrested my other family members, they arrested multiple family members. And I told them at the time, and I don't know, the pressure that it brings to have family members crying, your mum begging you, your family begging you, stop, 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 can you see what this is doing here? That's why they're doing it.
Exactly. That's the thing. They know that no matter what they do to you, you're not going to stop. They know, and then they realize, okay, so you're not vulnerable. Let's go after who you love. And then that hurts you, and it makes it a million times harder.
They put me on a financial restraining order. They froze my assets. They closed my companies. At the start of the English Defence League, I owned 7 properties and I had 2 successful businesses. I think my plumbing business turned over £400,000 that year. So we were successful. They froze everything. They closed everything. They used laws that were introduced by the Labour government to deal with terrorists to deal with me, because I was exposing and talking about crimes from the Islamic community. So they'd done that, they seized my assets, and then they put me under an order I was only allowed to spend £250 a week. And if I spent over that, I'm in contempt of court, contempt of my court order, and I'll go to prison, which was the most difficult thing to try and live with, because I'd always worked, I'd always had ambition, and always had my next focus on what I'm doing. And here I am, frozen, assets frozen, can't work, can't do anything. To be honest, they created me, because if they hadn't frozen my assets and hadn't done all this to my family, then I never would have been able to continue doing it.